Hi, everybody. Welcome to Are We Good Yet? This is Fiona and my lovely co-host Kia. This is the podcast where we get real and talk about all that is being human, all the good, the bad, the ugly, and we are going to do that extra today with the topic, the celebration of no. And before we get started, as we as we do on all of our episodes, just the check-in of today. How is your heart today, Kia?
Crickets.
Crickets.
It's like I think my heart is good. It's more of like my inner child, if anything. I'm just like, why? I think my heart can totally be a 10 today because I'm feeling pretty grounded. But if anything, I'm like, whoa, why? Why? Yeah.
I
How
think
is yeah. Do you
I think we
relate?
can all relate to that.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like lately I've just kind of been cycling between this it just feels a little bit more chaotic. So, but like I did a lot of like grounding this weekend with just cleaning like crazy and organizing and resting and just being outside a lot, which helped a ton. And work is kind of just in this place where just like where everything is getting to this last step and everything is just kind of like everything's getting messed up right at the last step. So
Yeah.
everything's just a little bit more complicated than I'm anticipating. So
Right.
it's really just this place of things are a little bit more frustrating than I'm expecting them to be, but we're getting through all that stuff. So I'm feeling optimistic that
Wow.
things will be better by the end of the week.
Good for
So
you.
can we also
I'm gonna be
I
really sarcastic today, okay? Beware everyone. Like this is real Kia. This is not Namaste Kia. So brace yourselves.
when you're going to be asking the question why, you can't not be sarcastic. So
No, like I'm so sorry. I love sarcasm. It has saved me in so many ways. So I totally love it. I'm in. I'm just like letting you know. Like hopefully I'll be funny within like those other like jokes that I'm gonna probably I'll be making. Yeah.
which brings me to, I feel like this is a great time to introduce uh, what what are you proud of yourself for this week?
Wow. Whoa. I'm very proud that man, ah, I have to say something just because my friend Mel, she's been listening and she said, "Hey Key, I want you to like every single day say that you're proud of something, but I'm actually kind of like I'm just gonna use the word finicky. Like I like it. I don't know if it goes with the context. That's just how I'm feeling spiritually today, like finicky.
Key
But
spirituality, that's what everyone
right. So I was gonna say, oh, so she's like, you have to say one thing you're proud of. So I've been working the whole day since like probably 6 a.m. Um, and like I forgot what I was gonna say. This is like this is just how I'm feeling.
I mean, it's your finicky spirituality at
Right. I'm,
play.
I'm I'm just like saying, oh, so I'm proud of. So I painted. I was assisting someone today as he was making a mural. And it's someone that I really admired. So I worked with her yesterday and today, and I'm proud of myself because I had to climb a ladder and it was really, really, really tall. So when I got there, she's like, "How comfortable are you with the ladder?" So I see the ladder and I'm like, that's what I thought. I hope you're watching this. And then like I'm like, I think I'm okay. And then I went on the ladder and I went all the way to the top of the ladder and I'm like, Oh my God. And then we were using a roller. But it was a great experience. And then that was day one. And I was of course really, really careful. And then like today I'm like feeling so confident and I'm very proud because I wasn't just looking down. So I guess, it's just a matter of like keep trying and adapting to something that feels scary, which I can always take, as a lesson of the mat. It's a lesson of the ladder, you know. So
Yes.
yeah, all
It's
ones have a point, like as Linda would say. So yeah, I'm very proud that I was able to climb on a ladder and it was really, really high. And I was painting a mural and that it was very, very colorful. So it was good. I'm very proud of that. What are you proud
That's
of?
so amazing. First, I really want to use my corporate lingo, circle back to the
Wow.
um I want to circle back to that topic when we're talking about the celebration of no, because also like when do you know if that's because you did not say no to that and it was a yes that you were proud of and excited about. So let's talk about that in this episode.
Okay.
uh, what am I proud of? I hired my assistant today. I am so excited. I'm so excited. So I've been working for this startup for the past 2 years, and I'm responsible for everything finance, and we're just growing really fast. And it's like there's just a quick turning point where it felt so ah, um where it just felt so much, and I've been a little bit stressed lately because there's just a lot of things to manage in a lot of different areas of finance, and we're getting new hospitals and managing all of the day-to-day like booking QuickBooks journal entries and reconciliations and paying bills, but also sending things to the investors so we can get more funding and like monthly reporting, and it's so much to do.
Yeah.
So I, the very first person I interviewed was like, I was instantly like, oh my God, this girl is amazing. She just impressed me so much, and she was so friendly, and she loves dogs. We're an animal urgent care, so animal lovers are, it helps.
It
So
really helps. Yeah, definitely
and she
helps.
just and she just signed the off. She actually signed the offer letter last night, but there was a technical glitch and it didn't get processed. And I was so stressed this morning. It's like, what if this is sending a bad impression and she's not gonna want to sign it again? And what she really so
Man.
all of my anxiety was really for nothing because she's like, no problem. She's like, I know. I know technology always throws a curveball every once in a while, and she was so friendly the whole day, and we
Oh,
got her
that's amazing. I love
set up
that.
with everything, and
Hmm.
I'm excited. So
That's
just
amazing.
yeah, so that was a big win for me this week for sure. So she'll start in a couple weeks.
Oh,
Yay.
I love
So
that.
so the celebration of no, um, is it hard for you to say no?
Not super hard right now, honestly. I've been getting better at saying no. Like I kind of like know my limits now, especially when it comes to social things, I'm kind of like, well, I socialize enough this week. And I think I have like the kind of relationships in my life where I can be like, hey, I don't have the energy to socialize. So in that particular realm, it's okay for me to say no. Like I don't feel guilty. But when it comes to other things, it's still a work in progress. Yeah, I always try to be there for others and be a yes for others. And yeah.
What like what? areas do you feel like it's hard to say no? Is
Hmm.
it like work kind of related or
I don't know if it's work. Maybe work, probably. Yeah, I'm always working. I'm always working. But I am now it's different because, we have the podcast, we're creating this together. So this is different because this is kind of like our baby. And I don't mind doing something on a Sunday evening for our podcast. I guess when I had my recently, I was fired from my job. Not that I'm angry. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, like when I had my job, I think I was really good at like having boundaries. Like I wouldn't work on the weekends. I just like knew that I wasn't gonna check my emails, and yeah, I think that wasn't hard.
was there a turning point for you where you realized it was important to start saying no?
Definitely, yeah, because I could see there was like a friend employee relationship, and it started like that as friends, and then it quickly evolved to being like my friend became really my boss, and I could see that there wasn't a boundary in like texting or calling and then emailing to my personal email, and then I would get like a DM on Instagram about something that had to do with work, and then I kind of like knew that it was time for me to, like work just comes through my work email. And it was important for me to set that boundary. And it usually gets me in trouble when I set a boundary. But I am happy to say that it definitely helps my mental health and especially helps me create the life that I want to create. Meaning, if I don't set that boundary, then I wouldn't have the time to be with you, for example. So it's a balance of like, okay, if this is real alignment, I'm going to choose what matters most. And then I'm going to say no to those other things that still drain my energy because it's a reality. Like, energy is truly limited. That's just how I see it.
Yes, I was thinking about that a lot. When we picked this topic, I was thinking about like that topic of the value saying of saying no. And it really is that. It's you're being very intentional with your time of like,
Yeah,
this is something that is in alignment. This is something that's important. And it makes every yes you say that much more powerful. And that's the goal. It's like you want it to feel special when you say yes to something.
definitely. 1,000%. I think it's so important, even if it's, yeah, you're so right. You're so right.
Do you do you feel like people are mostly respectful of your nose? Not your
No,
nose, like
no,
your nose.
I think oh, my nose. Yeah, like my,
Are they
I actually,
respectful of your nose?
like when I was a kid, I was so bullied because of my nose. And then my parents, like I
The
had
metaphor.
plastic surgery to fix it.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm
Oh
very
my
serious.
God.
Cause
Because
like
of
this is like one of the things that I hated about me so much. And then like now I have a new nose.
wow, this feels like such a metaphor that
So this
people
was
do
when
not respect
so I was
your
like
nose.
18 when I got my nose done.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank mom and dad because they paid for it because I was traumatized.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Well,
coming back to,
hopefully.
but I don't think it's interesting because like I think sometimes people perceive a no like, oh, you're so cocky, like you're, oh, like like you think, who do you think you are, or things like that. And I don't know, like it comes with shedding and it comes with finding your people, and I think your people will always understand when you have to say no, like,
Yeah.
and it's just like, and it's always going to be changing. And I get it. It's not that we're always going to be getting a no because it's hard. Like we also need support and we need a yes. But I think definitely our people will hold space for ourselves when we have to just give them a no. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think it says a lot about the people in your life when you are allowed to say no without a lot of pushback. And it doesn't mean like when people say no to me, it's not that I'm never disappointed, but that's not the point. It's like I can be disappointed and understanding. And I think
Right.
that's what it's like with the other side too. Like when I say no to other people, and I rarely have instances now where people are not respectful because it's just that lack of attachment. It's when you have respect for the relationship and you're giving it space. And I was there was one way of people it was on a podcast I was listening to years ago talking about love. And it's the only time I've ever heard this where she was talking about love is like sand in your hand. And if you are gripping the sand,
Yeah.
it's just gonna fall through your fingers.
Yeah.
And if you just cup your hands and let the sand be be free to be free and open, that's gonna be the lasting love. And
Yeah.
I think that's what it's like in all kinds of relationships. Like you have to allow it the space to breathe. And if you're holding on so tight, it's just going to be trying to escape.
Yeah, I think it comes back to our other episode on people pleasing and just, knowing that at the end of the day, we need to be our own priority and we need to be our own masterpiece. And hopefully, like, my hope is always to have my people around me. But, at the end of the day, we all need freedom and we all are going to make our own choices. And it's hard for me to accept when actually people leave because ideally I want to keep my friends around me and I want to keep my friends supporting me. But sometimes we just have to take care of our energy. And so it's just, it's kind of like the no, I think, still requires a lot of courage, especially for
Heck
women.
yeah.
And yeah, it's hard because it's always like if a mom, like a caregiver says no, it's just like, oh, but you're that way. Or like if a boss says no, or like you're always like, I think we can be extra judged. I think so. It requires a lot of
Yeah.
courage.
I agreed. I know one of the topics that stood out to me a lot over the years was the putting martyrdom on a pedestal where you're
Yeah,
um there's just this pride in suffering for others. And like I know, and motherhood is a really great example. Like it's the expectation that you're going to suffer to support your children. And I
yeah,
think a lot of times, obviously, like people are going to put their children first, but I don't always think the suffering is necessary to the extent that people do. Um, I remember probably the area that I struggled the most with saying no was what I've already shared in previous podcasts of just anyone who wanted help. I wanted to say yes and support them, and I was just excited to be given a job to do and to feel like I was adding value. And there were just so many times where I was just it was kind of just like the handyman, like just the one who was always ready to jump in, and it almost became this expectation that I was gonna always show
right.
up.
Yeah,
And I had there was one time, there was kind of just this one, or is this straw that broke the camel's back, where a coworker was moving and she was saying, nobody is helping me move, and I have so much stuff to move. And I said, I can help you. And it was it was so hot. It was like 100 degrees, and she didn't pack anything up before moving day. She had trouble getting the rental truck. I spent the whole day like up and down stairs because she had trouble going up and down stairs. So I was spent hours and hours lifting these heavy boxes up walking down the stairs, and which was fine. Like I had volunteered for this. I was excited to get a good workout for the day. It was just that. And but then the point that I said I had a friend's surprise party and I had to leave, she said, "Okay, you can go after you bring down this last thing." And it was a blanket. She couldn't take down one blanket. And that was just the point. Like that was just the tipping point after all these years of saying yes to like almost like these full-time jobs for people that I was doing for free. That was the point that I felt like I was allowing myself to be so disrespected that and I did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and I remember talking to my friend about it and saying it didn't feel fair for me to say no when I had free time. And it was this idea that it wasn't fair for me to have free time when other people needed help. And like this luxury that I had of free time, I had to balance out the scales by offering that time to other people. And her response to that was, that is your time. Like that is not something that is owed to other people. Like your time and energy are like the most valuable resource.
Right.
And definitely as the years go on, realizing like I am like a highly sensitive person and my
Yeah.
energy is limited because I'm using double energy for every minute of the day than the average person because I'm just
Right.
consuming so much and thinking about how every little step I make is impacting every person's emotions and every step along the way. And so having that free time is so precious to me. And now I really protect it as much as I possibly can because I'm only going to be building resentment if I give up that resource.
Yeah. I think I went through the same process of not knowing. I was actually doing or overdoing because I wanted to be chosen and I wanted to be seen. And at the end of the day, we see what we want to see. So putting our value, that's what I've learned. Putting my value on others, on other people's opinion has been such a huge, I don't want to say mistake, but it's a burden because it's almost as if I was giving my power away. And it's a lesson on self love and knowing my limits. I used to just give so much away, and then I was just building bitterness because then I went back to look at everything that I've done for you, and you don't see my effort, or you don't see all the work that I'm putting, or you don't see how I am giving up my sleep and my energy and my life just to build your, I don't know, your vision. And I think also life has given me the lesson because it's very easy for me to start devoting my energy to other people.
Mhm.
You know, I go right away into, okay, I'm going to do this for Fiona or something. And this is like easier. It's just easier for me to go into that tendency. And then I've learned, I don't know, that it's always like life brings me back to take care of your energy, focus on your own creation, go back to what you want to put out in the world, um, come back to your vision. And it's almost like, you know, redirection and really knowing that my energy is limited and that it's okay to have boundaries. And my friend Jackie, she always says that people are going to do what they do. And so I think our calling, if anything, is just to set those boundaries so that we don't end up feeling depleted and exhausted because we gave away so much and then we didn't get the same in return, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I know the other area I was thinking about is like I don't necessarily say no to a lot of things, but I don't say yes. Like so a lot of times the no is just implied. Like I don't necessarily directly say no to people, but I don't
Yeah.
say yes to everything that I would have in the past. So I'm still carving out this space for myself without taking on more. Work was probably the biggest area for that, where I would always volunteer for everything. If there was something someone needed help with, I was really
Yeah.
excited to volunteer because I didn't want anyone to be left hanging without that support. Um, and it meant so much for me to be the hard worker. So I
Yeah.
was, yeah, give me more, even though I was already overwhelmed. Uh, but two things. One is I noticed people at every single job who took on everything and said yes to everything and was the rescuer for every situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had the least respect out of everyone, even though they were the ones saving the day all the time. And
Yeah.
it was insane, literally every job, because it was just the expectation that they were going to take it on. And it's almost the fact that they had such little respect for their own time, energy, space, that it kind of set this tone for other people to not respect that either. And so they were burning themselves out and just wanting to leave the company, and no one really cared. And it was so
Right,
wild.
right.
It
And we're
was,
so focused, even especially in our society, like we're so focused on solving our own problems that at the end of the day, it's no one's fault, you know? We don't even have the time to look around. Like it takes a lot of effort. Like people say like, "Oh, Fiona, Kia, you're so kind," or you're I don't know, like kind-hearted humans, and it's like yeah, you're born with that, but you also actively choose to be a good human being. You have
yeah,
to stop and see what someone is actually doing. But I think the only thing we can do, because it's the only thing that it's in our control, is actually coming back to that process of thinking, why am I doing this action?
yes,
Is this
yes,
because I want to get validation? Is this because I'm trying to be chosen? Is this because I want a gold star? Or am I doing this because this really moves me and it inspires me? And even if it takes my sleep, it brings me back to feeling authentic and inspired and, you know, like alive. And you're like, okay, let's do it. But if something feels like a burden, I actually heard that one time how, you know, we all have those relationships. I don't. Honestly, I don't have them. But we have like a coffee day in like 3 weeks with a friend that we met, I don't know, like sometime in our lives. And then we're like, oh, I have coffee with this person in 3 weeks, but she means well. And then we're like, yeah, it's just going to be an hour and it's going to be okay, but I'm going to go. And it's like, we already know that we don't want to go, you know, and then
yeah,
people, they start to say, like, oh, my mom, she got the flu and I couldn't make it. And it's like, no, just say, you know, it's just like,
yeah,
let's just like
yes,
normalize saying like, hey, you know, I wish, I don't know, like there are so many ways to just like say, hey, I'm exhausted, like the system is really working me like crazy. I've been working for like straight for like 12 days. I have an afternoon off and I really don't want to be a social human being today. Like, let's just normalize that. And then more people saying, like, you know what, like, let's just have a phone call or like normalize other things. You know, there are so many ways where we can still be friends and make it work, and remove the burden of just like doing something, doing something just for the sake of a transaction, you know?
and to be polite instead of actually wanting to do the thing. So
Right.
agree. Like one thing about that is I really try hard not to give a reason when I have to say no, because I feel like not all the time, but I think a lot of times I feel like I need to justify the no. And a lot of times the reason doesn't really matter. And I, a lot of times now I'll just say like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm really not going to be able to make it." And I don't explain unless like there are circumstances where it feels
Yeah.
necessary, but a lot of times it's just the understanding that if you are backing away, you have a reason and it doesn't necessarily have to be shared. And
Yeah.
um what was the other thing I was thinking of when you were talking? I lost my train of thought on that one. Um but you did make me think of um when we were talking about that truth challenge in previous calls, what you were saying there made me think of the parallels between the two of um, telling, checking yourself when you are not being completely truthful with people, and
Yeah.
checking yourself when you're saying yes to something that you don't necessarily want to say yes to. And I think they're
Right.
kind of the same thing. It's still authenticity for both.
Yeah.
But when you have that pause, you really do get this opportunity to say, why did I feel the need to say that? Like, why did I feel the need to not be completely honest? Or why did I feel the need to say yes to something I didn't really want to say yes to? And it just helps so much to really continue to move in the direction of what really matters to you and not
Yeah.
wasting time on other things. So yeah, I can't. Something you said made me think of something else, and I'm gonna blank on it. I'll remember in our next episode.
Yeah, and also, normalizing that if I want to have the right, this is probably not the right word, but if I want to have the right to say, "Hey, Fiona, I will not be able to make it." Also knowing that I am from there normalizing the no, so that when you say no to me, I also, control my inner voices and hold space for you, knowing that we're in the same, around the same energy of protecting ourselves and practicing. I think for me, it's a balance between self love, dignity, protecting your energy, knowing your limits, but also knowing, if I love my friends, then I can also know that whenever they need a no, I don't have to push. I think I was always a weird one because I don't drink for a long time. I tried to be vegetarian, and it was always like, let's just make a joke, like, let's have a drink. And this is another topic that it's just so big in a social, like in a social realm, because you're like, I said that I don't want to drink. Like, and it's always like it comes with, oh, you're so boring. Like you're always saying no to like drinking. Like, oh, here comes like whatever. And it's almost like, well, no. And this is so cliche, but really, no is a full sentence. And whenever someone says no, let's just, it's almost like, why are we trying to convince someone of something instead of just respecting what they're saying and actively listening? Like this person is actually communicating a message, and no is enough.
It is so true that I think that's a huge topic that the social aspect of eating and drinking and having dessert and all of that, people don't want to do it alone. I think they feel some sense of uh, shame around doing that alone. Like you can only enjoy that with other people.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it, like I know, like one of our friends, he's always the one who's up for going out for a drink, and
Yeah.
but he does dry January. So when we go out for a drink, he still comes, and I think he's so confident in his decision that he's not going to waver from that, and he
Yeah,
still makes it clear that he's happy to be there, and he'll still get like a an alcohol-free drink, and so he'll have like the fun drink with us that just doesn't have alcohol in it, and I think that's a huge part of it is walking in and being so confident that you belong there, even if you're
yeah,
not participating in the drinking or the overconsumption and whatever you're having. And you're still confident that you're going to have a good time there. And
exactly.
people are probably still going to give you a hard time or be like, oh, you're not drinking. But then as long as you're confident in it, they'll usually just go away and be like, it's fine.
Right, right, right.
But
Yeah,
it's not easy though because
it's
I
not
still feel
easy.
self-conscious like anytime I'm like not drinking or something I do feel like now they're gonna feel awkward that they're drinking and I'm not and all of that but oh the thing I was thinking about with um if you don't have the energy to actually go out for coffee or anything like that, but you still want to connect with people that matter to you. Number one, like last week, you and I we both had insane weeks last week, and we did a co-working session, and it felt like this
Incredible.
nice connection and we got
Yeah,
so much done and it
yeah.
still just felt like we had this moment of connection and we still got to chat a little bit and but it was mostly just we're sharing space.
Well, and we haven't seen each other since August.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
And it's almost like I don't, like we're always talking, we're always on the phone, we're always texting, we're always on Zoom together, we're creating this together. Um, yeah, and there are so many ways to, I don't know, make it work and still honor our needs and bypass that sensation of being polite or just doing what's right or feeling guilty. Like that's a huge
Yeah.
one for me when I have to navigate guilt. And it's almost like you didn't mean anything bad by saying
Yes.
that. You're not
Yes.
attacking someone. Like, it takes a lot of training. I have to go back to my mind to say, I didn't mean anything bad. I'm just trying to rest. I'm not lying. I'm being honest. I'm trying to be respectful. I'm trying my best to be a good friend. So we do need those reminders as well because we're so wired just to, always be a yes, show up, be there for others, do what's right, be the good girl.
Mhm.
And that it feels heavy in the mind. It's a lot to deal with. And so I think again, and that's why we created this space, it's about normalizing so many things that we sometimes don't even think exist because we were raised like that until we actually stop and say, like, I remember my grandma, she would cook for like 35 people every Sunday, and it was insane. And then people would make fun of her because she wasn't on the table when we were eating, and it was just normal. And I thought of her today because I was like, well, this is not normal, like it's like let's just like there are so many things that we need to normalize and be like, hey, let's just like flip the script right here and let's just start to share this information with other people so that we start to take better care of ourselves as human beings because it is a lot and our energy is so limited and it's more than okay to say no. And it's also, I wanted to say, and it's interesting because you took the topic from another perspective. For me, when I said celebration of no, I was thinking it's kind of like the celebration of like you being fired from a job or someone telling no, like meaning, yeah, I've gotten so many no's in the last 2 years, things that I really, really wanted. And then with time, I've learned that that thing wasn't really for me. So it's like, it's also like, like having that friend. that actually picks you from the ground and tells you like, okay, you were fired, but like, like I know it's hard to see that right now, but that no is taking you closer to your alignment, like to your people. Um, and I don't know, like I think it's about keeping the faith that a no is not a failure. It's just redirection and finding another perspective or another opportunity. And yeah, just like that's just how I saw the topic, and I wanted to like bring it up before we finish the episode. So
I
we
love
ended the
that.
episode.
It does make me think of those no's where you feel like you've just the bottom has been pulled out from beneath you.
Yeah,
I think the biggest value from that is you lost your foundation and you
yeah,
have to figure it out. And it allows you
exactly.
it allows you to trust yourself that it doesn't matter if this very rigid plan that you had doesn't work out because you're capable of figuring it out.
Yeah,
And Martha Beck, who I'm going to reference a billion times throughout this podcast, one of the things that she has said that I always have on a post-it is exist in perpetual creative response to whatever is happening. And that means like we're creative
yeah,
beings and
yeah,
we feel like we don't have the ability to navigate changes because we have overplanned so much to be prepared for every possible little different angle, but that's impossible. We can never
that
guess
is impossible.
everything.
Yeah,
So being able to trust that we're creative enough to come up with a solution is more valuable than any of that planning that you could have come up with. So, and everything you're saying about that the celebration of no is really the celebration of creativity.
right. We're never powerless.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
we need that
I
reminder.
I I think we're powerless, and I'm probably saying this because I need to hear it right now because I'm going through so many changes. But I think I am only powerless when I am too fixed in one outcome. That's when I
Yes.
really feel that I'm powerless, and that's also when I get bitter, and that's also when I get stuck. Um, but it's almost like one day at a time. What am I proud of today? Like, what can I do tomorrow? Like just small goals, small triumphs. And yeah, celebrating the nose, definitely celebrating the nose. So
All
yeah.
right. Well, I have my audio clips and I'm going to be snipping out of this episode. Amazing. Anything else on the celebration of now?
The ladder. We're
The
climbing the ladder. The what is it? That's like something that you say incorporate, right? Like you're
Oh, the
climbing
corporate
the
ladder. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, that's how I felt today. I was like, again, in case you missed it, I thought, but I did it, and I
You
didn't
did it.
die. Yeah, no,
And
but yeah, it was a good
yeah,
experience.
why didn't you say no, even though you were
Cause,
scared?
cause I'm creating my life, and I'm creating new opportunities, and I also love to paint murals. So I wanted to be a yes for that. That wasn't about people pleasing, and
Yeah.
it's a part of the job, I guess. It was such a great opportunity, and so but I was really scared.
Yes.
Yeah, but I
Yes.
did
I
it.
know. I've definitely done one of those like being too high up on a ladder painting. I mean, not painting with like a roller, not painting like in art like art.
Yeah, it's still scary, but it was
Yes.
amazing, and I had such a wonderful day. So I'm grateful that I said
That's
yes to it, and that I was a yes to the latter.
yes. The ladder's always the metaphor.
Yep,
I'm sure you're going to be
correct.
bringing that up a lot.
Correcto. Right.
Well, all right. Thank you so much, everybody. And we
Thank
also
you.
want to open those questions to you that we asked at the beginning of how is your heart today? And what are you proud of this week? So let us know.
And go climb
Some...
ladders. Let's go. Are we good yet?
Are we good yet? Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye.
you.